the top 5 things that you need to do before you start a pantry. First, you need to know your clientele. What is the demographics of the area that you're serving? What type of foods are you going to need to have? If you have people who have celiac disease, you're going to need to have gluten-free items. How are you going to get that? Who are your resources going to be from?
And ask the principal, what do you need from us? And do you have somebody that could be, like I said, the teammate that's on the campus with the ones that are off campus? And find out, you might need to do some surveys with the families on that campus, find out the need, what kind of numbers there are.
So that goes into the second thing. Where's your funding coming from? Who are going to be your donors? How are you going to get this stuff? Who's going to be in charge of that?
It usually is the PTA or a lead teacher or somebody that might get a grant. A teacher might get a grant, or a counselor or a librarian. Usually there is one person in the school that works with an outside, like I said, organization. So here there's like a few church groups that they have their committee that works with the liaison in the school.
So that goes into 3, who's your team? Me and my husband did this with the help of teachers, but teachers work during the day, so we were the ones running around 7 days a week picking up the food, making sure that it was there. So you really have to have, you might not have another person or another group that can, 2 people that can just do that. You have to have your team in place. You need at least 5 to 8 people to do this if it's not going to be all on you.
And we do almost everything with volunteers. But in working with volunteers, we've made connections with other organizations that are interested in doing the same kind of work we do, but they also have very small staffs and don't have a lot of professional time or things like that.
They're usually sponsored by an organization outside, like usually it's a church group or a civic group that sponsors one or multiple locations. I am part of Pitt Partners for Health group, and I actually am part of the pantry segment of that. So we do help them out if they need assistance in either how to obtain the produce or how to obtain product for their pantries. To help them with the advice on proper holding and storing of the products until somebody comes, and then with educational materials to pass out with it if they would like to do that. Every pantry is different. Some just have shelf-stable items. Some are able to have fresh produce, like you were saying, and some even do have meats and other vegetables like frozen, and some might have milk or yogurts, depending if they have the refrigeration. So every school is separate, and I do know of one school we have here that does have refrigeration and has a freezer chest, so they do get donations of some frozen like turkeys or meats or whatever.
But you need to have a plan in place. You need to have your people, your budget, know who you're serving, where are you storing the stuff, and what type of pantry. Honestly, what type of pantry are you trying to have? You can do this and have a non-perishable box pantry. We have freezers and refrigerators here, so we're not just a non-perishable pantry, but that takes a lot of work. You have to rotate the food. You can't just get food and say, hey, someone is sitting here actually rotating all this stuff, and that's a job in itself, because you have to keep up with dates.
Do they just want shelf stable? Is there a place, can they get a refrigerator donated or a chest donated? If so, is there a place you can hook it up? You got to make sure facilities is okay with that, because you got to make sure the fire code, the marshal, and all that, everything's protected under insurance. So it's a lot of different people you do have to touch base with, in my opinion, but once you get it going, it's great.